but this is a very exciting video that I would like to share. This is a video that I'm extremely excited to share. It's not an exciting video. It's a video that I'm excited to share. Hi everyone, it's Lydia, fresh out of university, where I studied finance and economics. Today, I'll be sharing with you how I saved up my first $100,000 by the age of 23. Now, by no means is this a tutorial that will instantly help you do the same, but I would just like to share some of my lessons learned and hopefully inspire some of you to, be on this money smart journey with me while we navigate through our 20s together. So there are two big ways to accumulate wealth. One will be to decrease expenditure, which means that you don't spend as much, while the other one looks to increase your pie, which means increasing your income. So to decrease your expenditure, number one, I always look to review some of my fixed costs or like my baseline costs, such as groceries, your phone bills, your rent. So for example, like for telco, for our phone bills, we go with either contract or SIM only. So, I'll do my calculations and I realize that for the kind of phone that I'm buying, which is like my iPhone, usually it makes more sense for me to get a SIM only plan and maybe fork out more money when I'm paying for the phone instead of paying for a high phone bill throughout the course of 2 years. Next, I always ask myself whether it's a want or a need whenever I'm trying to make a purchase. However, I don't use the 50, 30, 20 rule. If you have heard of that, it's actually 50% to needs, 20% to saving, and 30% of want. Yeah. Something along that line. So I'm the kind where I go for saving as much as possible. So I don't really go according to the rule because I feel that it makes me spend more than actually it's telling me that, oh, you have actually this pool of money to spend, rather than telling me like just save as much as possible. I'm not very sure how you see it, but that's how I look at it. Next will be my most important tip, which is to track your expenses and your net worth. So for tracking of expenses, I've been doing it throughout the course of the last 3 years, and I think it really, really helped me in telling me, like in what areas am I excessively spending, how much am I actually spending this month. Tracking my expenses, I think there are many apps that you can use. For me, I'm using this app called Spendy, and yeah, it's really helping me a lot, and I do encourage y'all to go and try tracking expenses because we have so many savings accounts and we have so many debit cards, credit cards. It's sometimes a little bit difficult to track exactly how much you spend a month if you don't actively key it into an app. So maybe like I spend 400 on my credit card, 600 on debit, but sometimes people may only focus on how much cash exactly goes out, which is like your debit card. Next tip, which is linked to my previous tip, is to have a budget for categories that are obviously wants. Like obviously they are maybe luxurious things to have. For me, that will be on taxi or Grab or Gojek or whatever. Okay, just taxis in general. I always see it as a want because I can always leave the house earlier, apart from emergency situations, of course. I always look at my track expenses and I ask myself which one is the first thing that I can cut. It will always be this kind of wants, things that that you can prevent having by leaving the house earlier or preparing yourself earlier, and that kind of things. For my next tip, it's to actually make you feel the pinch a little bit more when you spend a lot of money or a lot of unnecessary money. So for me, I always look at things like how much time do I need to earn it back? So for example, when I was working part-time, my pay was around $8 per hour. And let's say, during weekends, I want to take a Grab to meet my friends. The Grab to CBD maybe costs $16. And I'll ask myself whether it's worth the 2 hours of work, or maybe for bigger expenses or for bigger purchases. Let's look at an iPhone that typically costs maybe, let's say, $1,200. So $1,200, is it worth that 150 hours of work, which is basically maybe 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks? Yeah, so I always ask myself this kind of questions, and if my answer is no, then I'll let go of the want. We are talking about wants here, yeah, not like things that you have to buy. So for my last tip, plan your dates wisely. So basically, for me, I like to space out my dates with my friends. So basically, maybe I commit myself to 2 to 3 outings with my friends per week max, because I don't want to be overspending just because I'm over going out. Of course, like there are many activities that don't need money, like let's say go hiking or whatsoever, but I'm just talking about, like in general, when you go out with your friends for a meal. I also look for deals when I go out. Hashtag auntie, yes. For example, Eatigo gives you like 50% off your meals for free. Like there's no membership to Eatigo. I don't think you don't have to pay a fee for it. Some of my friends use Burple. Personally, I don't use Burple because I am not a fan of paying for deals. I know Burple does offer 1-for-1 deals for a pretty wide range of restaurants, which I think it's worth to check it out if it's within your budget to spend for the plan. Yep. Next will be to increase income, which means increasing the pie that you receive every month. It can be classified into two. One is active income and the other one is passive income. So let's talk about active income first. So active income means that you actively have to work for it, versus passive income, it means that your money is working for you. Your money is producing more money for you. So I'm a fan of, encouraging my friends to take up side hustles if your day job allows you to do so, and if you have the bandwidth and the capacity to take up some of them. It can be a freelance job, such as giving tuition, transcribing interviews, translating interviews, or even things like organizing notes. You will be surprised, there is a market for that. So personally for me, I was giving tuition when I was in university, and that actually allowed me to, generate a pretty good income for a university student. I was earning around $3,000, and that really helped me through some of my expenses. And next will be to start a drop shipping business. I started a drop shipping business during the last year of my university, and I won't go too deep into that, but it basically means that you don't hold any inventory, and maybe I should insert like a drop shipping chart here. That's drop shipping, and you can do it actually easily as long as you're willing to maintain it and willing to start on it. So the next part will be to increase your passive income, or what you always hear people say, how do I make my money work harder for me, right? How do I get more interest, more dividends out of my current pool of money? First things first, I hold some flexible insurance savings plan. So some of the flexible insurance savings plan that I have include Singlife, Gigantic, Singtel Dashpad. So all these flexible savings plan allow me to access my funds anytime, so I can withdraw anytime with just maybe like a 50 cents withdrawal fee. And that helps me with generating more interest out of my current pool of money. Oh, and that is with no lockdown, by the way. I always go for those that have no lockdown, because I always have this fear that I'll need the money soon. Okay, next will be on the investing part. I'm a very conservative investor, as I said earlier, but I usually split this money into two parts as well. One is like the conservative but can beat inflation, try to beat inflation pool, while the other one is the put me out of the comfort zone to learn about trading and buying stocks and that kind of things. So the bigger bulk goes into robo-advisors and dollar cost averaging into ETFs. So that's my attempt in trying to beat inflation, making my money work hard. The other one will be for investing. I'm still pretty green into the trading world. Still learning every day, but I will still put aside some money to buy some growth stocks and learn from that, basically. So I guess that's all I have for today. Hope that you picked up a tip or two. Please share with me some of your saving tips, or how do you increase your income tips. And let's navigate through being smarter with money together.